Yes.
A heated question.
Okay.
Could cause an argument. Jaffa cakes. Are they a cake? Or are they a biscuit? Just one word answer, then we'll get into it.
I would have to say a biscuit.
Okay.
What about you?
It's a Jaffa cake, and it's a cake. It's just
Yeah,
it's a small
but
cake.
there are many of them in the biscuit aisle,
Yeah.
not the cake aisle.
Right, that aisle also has crisps in it, so...
No, wait, it's not in Asda.
Well, in Tesco's it does.
Well, I should buy Asda.
Okay, so it's a biscuit in Asda, cake in Tesco's.
It's a cake base with a chocolatey icing with a jam filling.
That's primarily a sponge cake. That's what's made. If I made a big sponge cake and put a chocolate cover on the top,
it's a soft biscuity cake. So it's
a cake. So it's a cake. It's a biscuity cake.
It's a base cake.
It's not a cakey biscuit.
Okay, so it's a cake base, but they're like biscuit shaped.
So just the shape of it is a circle.
Why can't it be both? Why can't it be a cake and a biscuit?
Don't know. I'll be honest. There's more important things to worry about. What was going on this time last year in terms of coronavirus?
Well, in terms of coronavirus, it was the government's plan of actually trying to sort out a plan of getting people abroad back into England safely.
Yeah.
And you think, oh wow, that should surely be the first thing.
Good plan, yeah, it's a good plan, yeah.
And they had a plan of getting people from Wuhan, China,
back
home, because there was a couple of hundred British citizens who were needing to come home.
Yeah, you got, it's good, yeah.
Yeah, safe plan. They had a safe flight.
I had an idea. Yeah. It would be to get the one plane. Maybe to bring them all back. It would be. I'm not entirely sure what the testing was like then, but you could have done the isolation thing.
Yeah, they were put in a NHS secure building.
Yeah, so there's not even any
2 weeks.
Not any chance of them breaking.
No, nothing. And then you think they'd kind of stick to this plan of getting people back in from other countries. All over the world.
Yeah.
But no.
No. People just strolled through, didn't they?
It took 360 days for Boris to actually to sort out the borders and have to have a negative test to re-enter.
So I don't get this. You get off the plane and you have to present a negative test when you land.
Now,
yeah,
I think you have to isolate because Dina's coming back.
Okay.
And she's got to isolate for she's meant to isolate for 14 days.
Yeah. Or
you can take a test and prove that you're negative to shorten the isolation.
Okay, so if you give a positive test, if you just show a positive test, you have to isolate for 14 days.
Yeah.
But you could just go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Because I came back from Dubai and you had to fill out a form about where you were going. And that was it. You had to just say somewhere, and that's fine.
I think
not the most secure systems, but
I think the most stupid thing I found during the whole travel window thing was when they created channels between different countries.
Yeah.
And they were like, you don't have to isolate if you came from this country. But
different corridors, yeah.
I didn't understand that whatsoever.
Because some countries were so there's big trade things with places. Yeah, it's mostly to do with trade, and also like
I understand the trade.
Tories want to go on holiday.
But it was during the summer when he was like, yeah, I go to Spain for a couple of weeks. Do what you want. Everything's back to normal kind of thing.
Yeah, it's weird times, yeah. You could just
That's
go abroad.
What really confused me.
You could go to some places, but you couldn't go to others. But you could also go in between those places.
Yeah. What's obviously been very interesting over this last year is obviously the NHS and how that's had massive strain and impact.
Yeah.
But the NHS staff have still always been appreciated and still always talked about, and the issues they face. Going back to this time last year. Yeah. They started bringing in sleeping pods. I don't know if you heard about them in hospitals.
We didn't really look into it much. This was for just people who worked there who could just...
Yeah, so for nurses and doctors who needed a quick 20-minute break in between their 14-hour shifts.
Oh, God.
Could take a power nap.
I don't remember the point, mainly because I wasn't born. But why is being a nurse or a doctor or someone who works in the NHS, why is them having to work 60, 70 hours a week, on the job description? Why is that a thing? It used to be worse. It used to be really bad, and then Labour came into power and literally just threw money at it, and they put a cap on how many hours you could work if you worked for the NHS. How many do you reckon it was for a week? They put a cap, so you weren't allowed to work any more than this.
50.
65. That was the maximum, and obviously everyone was working 65. But why is it a thing? Well, you're a nurse, it's tough, innit? Well, why it shouldn't be tough?
No.
Why can't people do 9 to 5s?
And that's what I found really just annoying and interesting about these sleeping pods is instead of solving that, okay, if they're tired, they need to go home and
it's just a 20-minute nap.
No, have a 20-minute nap.
No, and you also, if you've just come off of like a really heartbreaking thing, you're not be able to sleep. You've got 20 minutes. It takes about 20 minutes to go to sleep.
It's just, it just infuriates me thinking that they can, and it wasn't even a cheap solution. They were going for, these pods were like £17,000.
Now that, I don't understand. And please, someone crunch the numbers for me. But I don't understand how one pod is costing 17 grand. I can't break.
Well, don't quote me on it being 17 grand. But I was reading an article and the 17 grand figure came up. It may be less, it may be more. Just don't keep me to that. I imagine it was for a few pods, but still, just a 17 grand just for someone to have a nap when they could just easily just be like, okay, you're tired, go home, rest up, and come back when you're ready to work for your next shift.
Yeah, because what happens then is people get tired and then people make mistakes, and you've heard about it all the time. That's why you can't work loads of hours in like hospitality, because you make mistakes. So, I've made mistakes at work, but when I've overworked and I've poured the wrong drink, I haven't killed someone.
No.
Like, I haven't let people die. Yeah, and also those sleeping pods, I can guarantee, are not there anymore because they're having to make room for a lot of COVID patients.
But again, going to this thing about making mistakes when you're tired, it's like when you're driving, you can't drive for more than a certain amount of hours.
Yeah. Other people at risk.
So, cutting up someone's body to try and fix them.
Yeah.
You can do when you've been awake for 14 hours.
Yeah, it's just I don't why it's a normal thing for being like, oh, it's amazing that you're a doctor. Like, it is incredible because the work you got to put into it. So like the amount of work going into that is incredible. But what shouldn't be applauded is that you work so many amazing hours. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be. You should come home at 5 o'clock. How is your shift? Yeah, I've got a night shift tomorrow. Oh, okay, cool.
There should be day shifts and night shifts, just like any other industry.
But there's just not enough money to support it.
Crazy.
Yeah, and they still had to pay for parking up until a few years ago, which I cannot get that into my head. How that is a thing.
Yeah. But no, going back to the point I made earlier about driving, I just looked at the information I had, and one article who wrote about these pods, they said they can take up to an 80-minute nap, which many staff tend to use during 20-minute naps during the day for things, but most of them tend to use it to have a nap before they drive home after their shift.
Oh, fuck me, because they can't,
Because they're so tired and drained from their shifts that they're not ready to drive home yet.
That's not okay, is it?
And so they have to have a nap after their shift before they can go home because it's too dangerous for them to drive.
Well, that means they don't get a break when they're actually working. Why can't we just throw... I get you can't just throw money at it, but you must be able to assist them to recruit more. And I don't want to start with this 50,000 nurse bullshit, but there must be something. You can't just... Because it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And like by the time we film the next episode, who knows what position they're all going to be in.
Yeah, again, it's just like, it may not even seem that big of a deal. Some people may look at this with the pods and be like, wow, at least they're helping. If they're tired, they can take a break or if they're free. But
it's a quick fix solution. It's not even a solution.
It's not even a solution.
It's not. It's the tiniest, the thinnest of lifelines. But yeah, as I said, those beds aren't there anymore, so they're getting absolutely no rest. And there's this whole thing now. Not to chat too much about what's going on now, but there's this whole thing now about the mental health of these people. Like, must be soul crushing. Like, I heard a story about someone who was holding on to someone's hand as they were having a heart attack as
I heard that story, yeah.
As the clock struck midnight on New Year's Eve. That shouldn't be a thing. Like, something's going to always happen on New Year's Eve, but it shouldn't have to be that frequent and that. And one person doing that many things, like the amount of deaths of these nurses and doctors have seen, it's just.
That was something that I've read about as well. Was because usually there's family members and stuff to help these people when they're dying, but all these nurses and doctors are having to take on also that responsibility of being the last person that person sees and holds on to before they die.
Because families aren't allowed in,
And then they've got that added thing knowing that they have to be the one to hold them into the next life.
It is horrendous. I mean, we were going to start a little thing, weren't we? We're going to have a little jar and fill it with money and put some money in every time the government made a mistake. And we thought we'd be nice on them. We'd start when the pandemic started. I'm not going to say the pandemic started just yet, but if we had a jar, their one fuck up was this early on, not closing any borders, fucking up an entire plan of bringing people back home, and also not giving a big amount of money to the NHS before shit hit the fan, and also Boris Johnson not attending 5 Cobra meetings. But Michael Gove was saying, it's normal for a Prime Minister to not attend Cobra meetings. And that may be well and good. That's fine to not attend it, because normally Cobra meetings are just, sort of laying out the bait. Just do this, it's protocol. But there was something going on this time. I felt like you should have been there. And we may have been we could be sitting next to each other if he had.
Could have guests on.
Yeah. It's Brexit Day.
Brexit Day.
Woo! Woo woo! Finally, after 4 long years. Doesn't feel like it was 4 years ago.
No.
You didn't vote in the 2016 one, did you?
Too young.
Because you couldn't, you didn't choose to,
15.
First reactions when it happened, jump back to 2016. What was your understanding of it at that time?
Obviously I was only 15, so nobody really understood it, but still a 15-year-old knew that there was all these stereotypes that was happening around what Brexit meant. And especially me, who the people I spoke to is my grandparents, and we didn't really speak about it much, but and then my mum, she's not really involved in politicals, and the only people I got it from were teachers and friends.
Okay.
And so a lot of it was around the stereotypes of Brexit's going to have an impact on trade, which everybody obviously knew. But then the Brexit, a lot. I don't know if it was just around my area or not, but whatever. But it was like people got in their head that Brexit meant everybody of a different culture didn't know how to word this rightly.
No, you're right. I think people were under the perception, because there's absolutely no way that everyone who voted in that knew what they were voting for. I didn't know what I was voting for, but people didn't like that Ahmed run the Premier and the Premier around the corner. People didn't like that, and they thought that it would be like a sort of like a white cleansing.
That's the message I got from it. A lot of people's main reason about why they wanted to vote Brexit was just to make everything white again. Kind of a thing.
But also, I hear take back control.
Yeah.
And if there's anyone, I doubt there is, if there's anyone watching this who did vote Leave and still believes it's a good idea, can you please word for me what take back control means? Because genuinely, it's a bollocks rhetoric. It doesn't make any sense at all. We had complete control of everything. We made our own laws, and we could also shut our borders at any time we want.
Yeah.
All the other countries that are in the EU, they shut our borders from us, actually. Is this a sign of Brexit? It's a bad idea. So every company I'm about to name, most of them were gunning for Brexit, and then these are all the companies that have left Britain, so their headquarters are not based in Britain anymore. Some have moved to Ireland, some have moved overseas to France, Netherlands, Italy. These are big ones, ready? So this is Airbus, Aviva, Bank of America, Barclays, British Steel, Credit Southern, Dyson, Ford, Goldman, Honda, HSBC, Jaguar, JP Morgan Chase, Lloyds of London, MoneyGram, Nissan, P&O, Philips, Rolls-Royce, Schaeffler, Sony, Toyota, UBS and Unilever. They're all the companies that since they have left after the decision in 2016. Now, doesn't that... They're doing something right because they're a big business. They must be doing something right. So why are they going? Because they know that it's a bad idea for the economy. So why isn't that enough?
The only way, this is how I picture it in my head it happening, was Boris talking to Donald and Donald going like, look, we don't need the EU to survive and look how America's thriving.
Yeah.
And Boris has gone, yeah, you're right, we don't need the EU. Kind of made this decision, and then, not Boris, when did thingy start? It wasn't Boris, it was, who was it?
It was David Cameron.
David Cameron.
Yeah. I was wondering what you were talking about.
Yeah, Boris. No, what I meant.
It's David Cameron to do it to sort out his own disagreements in the party.
But what you forget is the UK is a tiny island compared
yeah.
to all these things, and we need all of these resources coming in from Europe.
Yeah.
And then just to go, fuck you.
Just we're going by ourselves.
Oh, we can do this all by ourselves.
We can't. Research has shown that if we were to be self-sufficient, I'll probably no chance. It's not possible. You've seen the shelves recently. It's not possible.
It was when was it? I went to Subway the other day, and we was like trying to order something, and she was like, "Yeah, sorry, we don't have this, or this has been a couple of difficulties with lorries coming over," and I was like, "Okay."
And Boris, Johnson said there'd be teething problems to sort out, which I get, and I've seen a lot of comments on Facebook, people being like, "Oh God, come on, it's a difficult process, and he's sorting it out." Yeah, he does need sorting out, but bizarrely, he's had 5 fucking years.
5 long years
to sort it out. So there shouldn't be anything to sort out. You should have plans in place.
And it's so interesting. It's still 5 years, and yet the deal only got put through right at the very last minute.
And it's still not it, is it? Like it's still not. It's.
And what was really interesting during the whole Brexit period was the whole 360 something million pounds that we paid to the EU can now go to the NHS.
Yeah.
Oh, how the fuck did that go?
That was.
On free school meals?
Oh.
He goes, I don't think it did.
Oh, God. It's when you do equate these sums, don't you think, how is that? Like, Brexit has cost a lot. Go and have a look. I'm not going to do it now because it's depressing. Have a look, and I think there's a live count of how much Brexit has costed the UK. It is obscene. And what have you got? No ham and cheese sandwiches in the fucking meal deal section. That's what you've got. But also, a lot of people who voted for it, because they were told by Boris Johnson, because he hasn't got a past history for lying, they were told that it was a good thing, so they were voting. Now they're regretting it, and I'll be honest, tough shit, sort of. I don't know. I feel
that's exactly the point I was going to make about how close the vote was in the first place. Anyway,
very close.
Was it less? Was it 1% or something different or something like that? It was something stupid.
I want to say it was 50. I want to say it was 52-48.
Yeah.
So 2% difference.
It was something stupid like that, and I'm all for democracy and whatnot, and a majority is a majority.
Yeah.
But when it's taken this long and so much has changed in terms of a global pandemic.
Yeah.
You'd think, okay, maybe.
Should we just put it on hold for it?
Let's put it on hold and then maybe reevaluate it. You know what? Vote 2.0.
No, I mean, Boris Johnson was very lucky that coronavirus happened in a way because he could slip Brexit through without it making the front pages and keep that death toll nice and high. Mm-hmm. But that's interesting about you saying majority, and that's the way the vote went. Is because we're all sitting here, and maybe in November when the US election happened, as I said that, I looked at Joe Biden's face then on the table, but the US election happened, and Donald Trump, he just couldn't, he refused that was a thing. He was like, no, we won, I won, no, kind of whining about it. And all us Brits were just laughing at him, but that is exactly what happened in 2016. Yeah. We Remainers, whatever you want to fucking call them, they couldn't accept the vote and said it was the wrong decision. And they're right, they are right. If in a year's time, then we are better off out of it. Oh no, people actually, I think Rishi Sunak has said that. He said that it's going to take like 5 years until we start seeing the benefits of it. So in 5 years' time, we'll have a look. And people say Brexit isn't a racist. It wasn't like a racist vote, and people weren't voting for much. People were voting for like the economic thing. And
I don't think anybody knew the economic reasons.
Rubbish. Hate crime went up in the weeks following that vote. Yeah. So that's rubbish. But I've got another one here. 140 companies have moved to the Netherlands since 2016. And so really good for the Netherlands because they've injected 350 million euros into the economy and they've made 4.5...
That's where the 350
and they've created 4,500 jobs. And you can't get your jalapenos at Subway.
Fucking fuming.
Yeah. Was that what was it, by the way?
No.
What did you get?
It was something. I was looking through the tubs and I was like, oh, there's a couple of tubs empty. And she's like, yeah, don't have them. And I was like, okay, well, guess I don't need those ever in
What's your Subway of choice?
Depends. Usually it's just a safe chicken and bacon cheese.
What bread?
Either a hearty Italian or a tiger bread.
Tough to get now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, it's very hard. But then just shit ton of lettuce, gherkins.
They're not bread now. They've been classed as not bread. Subway bread.
What is it then? A wrap?
No, it's like it's got too much. Like the ingredients used to make it is too much. I'll find it. It says because it's high sugar content. It can't be defined as bread.
What is it then?
It is. What is it? I want to see at the end. So it's a biscuit. No, what is it? what is it? What is Subway bread? I want to know then. Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of sugar in it, so it's not bread.
It's fair enough. But I mean, no.
Maybe there's sugar tax that no. We'll see if it'll come in. So yeah, Brexit. I remember seeing the footage of Brexit Day as well.
I remember it being on headlines for a good few days.
I just remember seeing people waving the British flag. I'd be honest, you all like fucking muppets. Yeah. Like you just, and then people ask, like, oh, why did you vote? Oh, it's just take back control, innit? It's just, it's just trying to get we're English, aren't we? Rule Britannia, yeah. What the fuck you on about? Like, you didn't actually say anything of value, like.
So, let's play again.
Game time. All right. Last time we just gave each other a category.
Yeah.
Do the same again.
Go on then.
Right. Okay. Do you think it's going to happen?
I really want it to happen. But...
Yeah. I think the only way it's going to happen is if we miraculously do it, normally, or the category is like small.
Yeah.
Or if we've been talking about something.
Yeah, I think that. Or I think we can get on the same wavelength.
Yeah?
I generally think we can. We just...
I'm going to underline it.
Underline it?
Yeah.
Power.
5 times. This is a brand of car.
Brand of car?
Yeah. Or, as some would say, a car brand, rather than a brand of car.
A car brand. Okay, this is what my gut instinct is telling me.
I'm going to hide my face.
I'm just looking at how to spell it.
I'm going to give you a little clue. If you're having to look at how to spell it, you're probably not on the right wavelength.
I'm dyslexic.
I don't think you're dyslexic. By the way, if this is the correct answer, I'm going to feel awful.
I'm not putting this one anymore, then. I'm not putting this one anymore. This is the one I'm going to put now.
Okay. Do you reckon you've got it?
I went with my gut. And then I changed my gut to write something, to find out spelling, and then I just ended up...
I'm going ape shit if it's the right thing.
I don't think it's the right
3, 2, 1...
No!
I love you put the type of car as well.
I couldn't spell Peugeot.
Oh, okay.
I tried to spell it in Google and it still didn't come up because it was that far. That's how shitty spelling I am.
How'd you spell it?
I spelled it.
Can I guess? P-E-R?
Nope.
Oh, P-E-U?
Nope.
P-E-A-R?
P-U.
Okay.
R.
Yeah.
G-O.
What, a Pogo?
Pogo.
What are you driving at? Drive a Pogo.
That's how bad at spelling I am going to go... I don't know if we've had this one. What topics did we do last week?
We did an animal and a country.
No, we did vehicle, didn't we?
Country and
vehicle.
Mode of transport, yeah.
Okay, I am going to go with...
How many categories is there?
I don't know, quite know. I am going to go with Super Mario Bros. Characters.
Oh, now we're talking. No, I'm not going to look as you type. Type as you write. Send it.
Sending it.
Yeah,
You've got to get it.
Yeah, I've got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
You sure you got it?
I'm 100% certain.
You're 100% sure you got it?
I've got this.
Now I'm going to spell it wrong. 3,
Oh no.
1. Fuck!
Damn it, the wrong I thought about Daisy as well. I thought it was Peach or Daisy.
Screaming Daisy in my head to you. Peach was on there, but I was like...
that's just fucking...
Daisy does it for me, because when we play Mario Kart at home, it's usually the rose gold Daisy that pisses me off every single time. So,
Yahoo! Yeah, she's actually so annoying. I hate her.
Careful, brother!
That's quite good. Right, so we're talking about the BAFTAs and the Oscars.
Yeah.
What is your favourite film? I'm not gonna film. It's all subjective.
But I personally don't have a go-to film.
Okay.
There's not like a film where I'll turn on and be like, yeah, that's my shit.
Okay.
It depends what mood I'm in. Like,
okay.
I love The Greatest Showman.
Cool.
I love film trilogies. So I'm a big fan of The Maze Runner. I love The Maze Runner.
Sorry, I just know my brother's gonna be watching this, and he's a massive movie buff. So when you say I love film trilogies, going through my head then was like, oh, the original Indiana Jones. I was like Star Wars. I was like Lord of the Rings. You just went, I really like The Maze Runner.
I just, there's something about those films that I've just never been like, yeah, let's watch it. Like Star Wars, I couldn't give a shit about Star Wars. It's shit. But Indiana Jones, I do want to watch. I just never got around to doing it. I've watched the Tomb Raider, I think. Lord of the Rings, I've never watched it. But I've met Surrey McCallum, so...
Yeah, a bit of an insult, really, that you've watched that and met him. Fair enough.
What about you? What's your favourite film?
I have so many. I can't distinguish them like that. I think my philosophy is always that if you have a favourite film and you haven't seen The Godfather Part 2,
I've not seen Part 1.
watch them. They are phenomenal. For someone doing acting course as well, you need to watch them because they are just incredible films. I don't know. I probably would have to say like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. If I can put all three into one film.
Decent.
Yeah, I can cheat and do that. The Green Book. I like that a lot. There's a theme here. So yeah, with the films that won the BAFTAs and Oscars, you've seen 1917.
Me and John and Rosie and Maddie rewatched it the other day. And
it is fucking genius.
I loved it. I'm not really a war film person.
Yeah.
But there's just something about it where I'm just like...
You just catch yourself staring at it.
It's just... You don't need speech every single second. You don't need... No. And just the way some of the camera angles... And we were looking at transitions, we were trying to point out moments where obviously there's a cut.
Yeah.
But obviously in this film, there's not... It's meant to look like one straight cut.
It's to black, isn't it? It's whenever they go over black bits.
Yeah, and we were trying to do that, but there was a moment where they pan down to his feet walking and pan back up. I'm like, oh, is that a cut? And it's just... How the camera... you're more focusing on the camera going on a journey
how does the camera do... Yeah, how are they doing it? Like, it's just... I was sitting in the cinema... Was a cinema the same day as you? Was that the cinema the same day as you when 1917?
No, I
John was in front of me. It must have been John, Rosie and Dina.
I didn't go to the cinema to watch 1917.
I remember watching it and just looking at the cinema and just going... I just constantly just like... Staring, I don't understand how this is done. And obviously, yeah... Heartbreak, it's not one shot. It's not possible to do that. It's one... No, yeah, it's two shots, but it's... loads of takes. You can't do that in one go.
There was the beautiful scene in it that I really love is when he finally gets to the trenches of the other... Is it
when he runs across?
And it's the bit before even when he's in the trenches and it blows up and there's still just no face and he just flings out.
Just like he's got his objective.
Over. And the bit when he's running into it and it's just this pure purpose of like, journey. It's like... It's just so beautifully done. The
bit where he's running across, I'm sure you know, like a little inside movie thing, like the bit where he's running across, all the soldiers running out, he was told to run. The bits where he falls into people aren't choreographed. Yeah. They just falls into them. And yeah, I love how he was just told, like, what's my direction? He's like, just fucking run. Like, Sam Mendes was just like, yep, you got to do it. And it confuses me with Sam Mendes, because that's an incredible film, and that won the BAFTA.
Yeah, it won the BAFTA.
They won the BAFTA. It didn't win the Oscar, did it?
No.
No, we'll come on to that in a bit. Joke. But he directed some of the James Bond films, and objectively they're terrible.
I don't know. Again, it's down to certain people's taste.
Yeah, no, I get that, but like in terms of the techniques he's used in that, I'm not saying you should have done James Bond in one shot, but like he clearly can make a movie.
Yeah, and I think, but then again, think about it. So with 1917, do you think the only way that it makes it good is because it's shot in one shot?
No, I think it's a perfect comedy. I think that's the highlight of it. That's the centre of it. But
it's definitely the highlight of it.
You've got those two boys who deliver like incredible performances, like. And the main guy is unreal. I don't know how I don't know why, but he looks like he's from that time. Yeah. That's really weird. He's got one of those faces that he looks like he's.
But
yeah.
James Bond. For me, I've only watched a couple of them, but I still find them engaging and different because obviously it's a completely different style. Yeah,
I find them they're entertaining to watch, but I do catch myself going, that's not very good. Like. Some of the villains in recent years have been, in my opinion, they've been awful. And I just think, and me and my brother say this, we say, just the next person who has to make a James Bond film, scrap this, just set it in the 1940s, and it'll be like sort of like Kingsman style.
Yeah.
That'd be really good, but I mean, that's not going to happen. That doesn't make money. But he clearly, I mean, he won the Oscar, the BAFTA for that.
And the BAFTA for Best Actor went to Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix, yeah.
For his performance in Joker.
Now that is a masterclass. The big thing that was brought up about this film was that people my mum said this actually. She said that what she was receiving when she hadn't seen it was people being like, it's one of the best films ever made. People were like, oh, that's not how mental illness actually works, which is a lazy. But she just found it just in the middle. What do you think of it?
It's a beautiful film. It's such a different take and a different portrayal of Joker.
Yeah.
And the ending, the middle bit, it's just...
It's so good. It's so good. I left it like heart sort of racing. He delivers an incredible performance, but also like you got to give credit to like the direction of that entire film. Not saying that film should have won the Oscar or BAFTA because the story...
I think it deserved the nomination.
Yeah, because there's a story there for them.
Yeah.
Already, so they can pick out points in the comics and make references here and there. So it's easier for them to sort of... But it doesn't take away...
I think it was a well-deserved Best Actor award.
And no one else did a better job than him in any other films.
So he definitely deserved that. Like the ending of when he's led on the car...
Which way he stands up in the car. Yeah, it's just so good.
And then it's just like, wow.
He's good in anything he's in, though. Yeah. If you watch anything else, and obviously he is the brother of River Phoenix, who died years ago. But
again, if we're talking about Best Actor, there was Best Actress, Renee Zellweger.
Yeah.
For Judy Garland.
Yeah.
I haven't watched this film.
I've seen it.
So I can't make a judgment on it.
It's not my sort of film, but I can watch it and go, I can see why people would go absolutely crazy. I mean, Renee Zellweger is one of the most underrated. She's so good.
I hadn't heard of her before the BAFTA.
Really?
No.
Oh, she's sensational. The first time I heard of her, she's one of the she voices someone in Shark Tale. She voices, is it Angie?
No idea.
She voices Angie.
It's been a while since I've seen Shark Tale.
She voices Angie. No, we watched it together not too long ago.
When? Yeah,
we put it on. Well, it was on the TV. Not recently, but in like about a year or so. It was definitely.
I was there.
Yeah, 100%. We just had it on TV. We had it on TV. We were probably doing something else.
No remembrance of it.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a testament to my memory. But right, what won the best film then?
Well, for the Oscar.
Yeah.
Parasite.
Yeah. And why did it win it?
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Right, watch it.
I keep meaning to watch it because I really enjoy like dark comedy films.
Yeah.
And obviously that's the main category that I see for it when it comes up. So I don't know to what extent it is dark comedy.
It's good. It's a good film, and that is it. I think it.
You don't seem too happy that it won the Oscar.
No, I'm not. I'm really not happy because it only won the Oscar because it's a foreign film.
Yeah.
Because in previous years they were absolutely being slated for whitewashing, and fucking rightly so. Because the Oscars, as fun as they are to watch and as much as they celebrate films, are a bit of a corrupt industry.
What films were up there against Parasite?
1917. There you go.
What was that? Was that any other film?
Joker, Marriage Story.
I think they're hard films to compare, but not a single person I knew heard of Parasite before.
Yeah.
Before the Oscars.
Yeah, and that's not a testament. I wouldn't say that's like proof to say that it's not clearly a good film, because it is a good film. If that hadn't have won the Oscar, I'd like it more. I'd really like it. It didn't deserve to win Best. It's not. It's a well-made film, and that's it. I'd compare it to, not in terms of its style or what happens in it, but what's like an average film, like a good film, like just cool.
I get what you're saying.
But I mean, you look into this. I've read this article online that was about how the Oscars just pay. The films actually just pay for the awards. So
would not surprise me.
So what happens is, well, it's not whoever pays the most gets the award, but the film holds events for the judges, for the board, which where they watch the film, but also where they hand out loads of merchandise and freebies. So Titanic, they all got loads of watches, customizable Rolex watches. And you think somewhere in your head that's got to go, oh, they're quite nice people, oh, they can win it. Like, I don't know, not as much as that, but
it definitely does.
Yeah, watch Parasite. If I'm wrong, go for it. That's fine. It's all opinion.
It's got to at least have done something right.
Yeah, it's done it well, but you compare it, and I know it's difficult to compare films, but in terms of best film, it's not. It's nowhere near 1917, and I would say that it's nowhere near Joker either. It's not. And I love films like that normally.
And so, what was happening this time last year was around the 6th of February was...
It's a lot in it, Jesus.
Fucking a lot, but this time was Donald Trump's impeachment.
Yeah, impeachment 1.0.
Yeah, first of many.
Yeah, well... Yeah, I mean, this was because he was accused of basically phoned Ukraine, got him on the phone, and was just can you dig up some dirt on Joe Biden, please, about his dodgy son, who may have done something wrong. I don't know. He was working in Ukraine at the time, and he was can you just dig some dirt up on him? And Ukraine were like, no, we won't. You've recorded this call now. So yeah, Democrats were just like, you know what, that's not okay. So accused him of abuse of power and
obstruction of Congress.
Yeah, and he was impeached. And to be fair, everyone was like, oh my god, he's been impeached. It was always going to happen because there was more Democrats than Republicans. And then when it moved to the Senate, we all knew that it wasn't going to happen because there's more Republicans than Democrats. So yeah, massive. We say only the third president to be.
Yeah, he's only the third president in history to be impeached by the House and acquitted in Senate trial.
Also, it's him, Clinton, and the last guy was like 1800 something. Wilson?
Don't know enough about US presidential history.
Not Wilson. Who is it? I've got the wrong name there. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, it was big. I mean, let's assess his performance up till now.
Let's start with the pros.
Okay, so what the pros? There is.
I'm struggling.
I've got one. No, fuck it.
No. Fake tan business booming.
It's just weird, isn't it, how weird he looks? Like, just seems to get more orange.
More orange over time.
And hopefully he'll begin to wear an orange jumpsuit soon.
I really hope so.
That'll be a great way to end this year, wouldn't it? But yeah, so he was impeached and then he was acquitted. Normally you resign because you have some self-respect, but he didn't. And see you next week.
It was very close as well of him actually being impeached because it was 52 to 48.
Yeah, we know how big that gap actually is sometimes.
Sometimes it's quite a big gap, but it's just that four. If just
a few people had a backbone.
Yeah.
Because that is wrong. You can't just phone another country and be like, okay, do it. Like he has lowered the bar in terms of like standards for a president now. Biden's got a tricky one in his hand because he's going to have to.
He's got to rebuild the economy. That's mostly down to COVID, I say.
Well, no, but he's also got to rebuild the respect around the president's office.
Yeah.
Like Trump just treated it with like, I don't know. It's just bizarre.
It's just the way he went about everything. Everyone was just like, it just makes you want to go, wait, why am I listening to this person in power?
It took about a year to like pinching myself, being like, he is still the president, and now it's when he got impeached, you would thought that would be it, but of course he's bloody not.
There's just very few world leaders at the moment that have actually got people's support.
Yeah.
That aren't like dickheads.
Yeah. Well,
so think about like New Zealand.
Oh God, I want to go there.
She sounds lovely.
I want to live there.
And obviously, I know Justin thingy from Canada.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of problems, but they all seem to be on track. Majority of what I've seen from Justin, Trudeau. He seems lovely, and he seems like Canada's in a great place.
He seems genuine. Yeah.
Yet for two of the most advanced countries in the world,
US and UK,
we seem to be fucking it up every other day.
It's crazy. I mean, in one episode we've managed to bring up a time where both of them have fucked up, and I'm pretty sure we could every episode. From now, we could get a fuck up from both of them.
Because that's what I found really interesting doing this research. Is every time I looked at past newspapers and everything, at least every other day or every day, either on the front page or within an article, like a good big article, there'd be something the government in the UK did. Yeah. And the majority of it, sometimes obviously from the Sun and newspapers like there's this big good thing, but when you actually look into them, they're like, why the fuck did they do that? When it was the re-election between Labour and the what do you call it?
General election.
That's it. Everybody was convinced Labour had a chance of winning, or had a good chance of winning. And then I remember staying up that night and just watching each county turn blue one by one.
I went to bed after the polls came out. I went straight to bed.
I thought it would at least be closer than it was.
But also, when Donald Trump was impeached, we'll go back to it. When Donald Trump was impeached, Boris Johnson took days to say anything.
His BFF being silent.
They're not like, I don't know what they are, because like you think that one's more powerful than the other, but I don't know really. Like, right, another week done then.
Another one down.
Easy, so yeah, a few more to go. Try and get them to be more jolly.
Try our best.
Yeah, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of humour and nice things for this year.
I think something good trying to keep with the important ones that are hitting the headlines, but making sure people aren't just depressed of 2020.
Yeah, it's important to, rewind, remember, and reflect. So, moving on to... You got it right, I was happy with that. Right, so let's talk music. You gave me an album last time.
I did. I gave you Lizzo.
Yeah.
What do you think of her?
Oh, it's fucking sick. I mean, to be fair, it was sort of cementing an opinion I had anyway. It didn't really change anything in my mind. I think she's got the blend of singing and rapping down to a T. I think it's brilliant.
And like we just said, her lyrics they just say something really.
They're so good, and that's where some talent lies with her writing those lyrics. Like, she sat down and wrote those, and it's just. Yeah, it's phenomenal, and sort of her energy as well in her performances. Like, she replicates that live as well. Because I'll be honest, hearing them when I heard them just on Spotify, I was interested to be like, I wonder if she can do that live. Because I'm always interested to see if people can do it live, and she can. Yeah, she can. She smashes it.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing. Gonna move on to a different style of music for this time. So I'm gonna give you. This is one of my favourite albums of all time.
Even better than Barry.
Yeah. In terms of this album, it is. Argue. Like, it came out the same year I was born.
Wow, it must be ancient.
It's 1998. It's not that old. What year were you born in? 2001. That's mental. Okay, it's by the New Radicals, which consists of one man. He was a music producer, and then he would just decide, do you know what, I've had enough of this shit. I'll do my own album, and then that's it.
I must admit, I've not heard of him before.
You've heard of You Get What You Give, which is one of the songs. You've definitely heard that song. It's everywhere. The album's called Maybe You've Been Brainwashed Too. Every single song of theirs on the album I have saved and downloaded.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's, it's only 12. January 1st, 1998.
So he only did one album.
That's the only album he's done.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I think he performed. He was gonna perform at Joe Biden's inauguration. I don't know if he did now. I'll be honest, I didn't watch the whole thing. It's long. It's really long. But it's a nice piece of music, especially for the times we're in, because it's about sort of the dangers of like political and society and sort of the problems with it as well. Yeah. And he sort of paints it with quite an angry brush, and also quite a sarcastic way as well. And some of the you do listen to those lyrics, and you're like, oh Jesus, that is quite. And for that to be relevant in '98 and be relevant in '21 shows how far we've come. And also music. So you know Tadgh, well you don't know Tadgh, but I don't know personally. But
he's
done our lovely little song intro and outro. I'd like to think that he did that before and we pinched it rather than he didn't write it for us. So
but it was very nice letting us use it.
Thank you again. And an even bigger thank you is what we're going to do is we're going to give a little shout out to your new album. So yeah, he had that single up when we first got hold of him, but he's recently released 5 songs on an album released in December. So this would be the only chance we've had to shout out really. It's called Suddenly See No More. I've had a listen to it. Tadgh is fucking awesome. Hopefully you're watching. I'd like to think you are. But we're going to put a link down to that as well because it is so good. And for such a young... How old is he? He's younger than you, I think.
Really?
Or he might be your age. I don't know. He's close though. He's definitely younger than me.
Okay.
He's so talented and I just want to give that little shout out as well.
Well, thank you, Tadgh, for your music and letting us have a little jingle to our podcast.
Oh, yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, it definitely adds something to it. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, this is pretty much how it's going to go for the next few episodes, especially leading up to Corona. We're going to have some stories which aren't going to be the jolliest, but we want more stories that are going to make us chuckle, make the viewers a bit more happy of 2020 instead of looking at it as this pile of shit that it was. So if you've got any stories that you want to be spoken about at that events that happened in 2020, any personal Corona lockdown stories that you want to share, we're more than happy to have a read through them, maybe share some because especially we wanted guests with their opinions, but it'd be nice to read out at least some other people's experiences, because for us we were rather lucky with how we had.
We were quite lucky, yes. If you do have like a not a sad story, but quite a distressing time in lockdown, you want to share that, we'd want to sort of be interested in that as well, because as you say, we were very lucky with where we were.
All stories, all experiences. Just let us know so we get some sort of feeling of someone else being here.
Oh yeah, just it is empty. Not even a cameraman.
Thanks, tripods.
Yeah, it's lovely. It does look a bit like a robot's sort of invading. There's a lot of shit set up.
This is the Rewind, Remember, Reflect podcast.
Nice, did it?
Yeah, did it. Nice. But thank you and see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks. Look, I'm just trying to find the bright side, honey.